All right, I wanted to just send a video just to kind of brief over things until we can get together for a lesson together. I want to make sure a couple of things are switched up at home. Generally, if you do what you've done, you'll get what you've got. So if we take OB home and do all of the same things, he's probably going to show a lot of the same behaviors that he did before training because he already knows where his reinforcers are at home. So the first thing, when you guys come to pick him up, he's going to be super excited to see you, and he's gonna not really be thinking about what he's doing. So this is a really big moment to make sure that you are enforcing the new thing. So he's gonna come out and want to jump all over you, and if you in that moment allow him to do that, then you're already kind of communicating with him that you are okay with that. So the staff is pretty good about utilizing like not letting them jump up, but it also needs to come from you guys too. So a big thing that we have been working on here is an out command, and an out really just means leave something alone. So it can be leave me alone, it could be leave another thing alone, just whatever resource. Essentially we've been kind of creating a muscle memory of you hear out and you move backwards. So when he comes out and he's getting all excited to see you and running up to you, you're going to step into his space, out, yes, and then have him move away. I'm going to reward it right now because I want him to really keep that strong response. It's okay if you don't have food with you and you're not ready to do that. I want him to just understand out, good boy, moving out of your space. And then take the leash. Essentially we're going to, if he goes to jump up, we're gonna say nope, and then do a pop and release with the leash back down to the ground. If you really can't handle himself, just let the staff keep him, and you're going to essentially ignore him until he settles down. So really what I want is for him to not find value in getting all excited and jumping up on you. So if he's doing that, we're just going to remove ourselves. We're not going to give him any attention while he's crazy like that. So we want to give him a consequence by leash correction down, and we're going to allow no reinforcement by making ourselves a part of the picture when he's in that state of mind. As soon as he settles down, if he offers a sit or he just stands and looks at you, then you can give him a little bit of attention. Good boy. If we're doing a lot of, oh, we missed you so much, that's gonna really set him up for failure. So I know you're going to be really excited to see him, but try to keep it more of a, hey bud, it's been so long, we missed you, because we already know that he's going to be doing all of the, oh my God, I haven't seen you in so long. So if he's doing that, hi Obi, out, good boy, just ask him to give you your space. And that's going to be really hard for him to do in the context of you picking him up from boarding for 2 weeks. So just keep that in mind, be consistent with it. Another thing, leash mechanics, I want to make sure that we are communicating with him properly with the leash. Sorry, the hair on me. I have been using a prong collar with him. I'm not going to send that home until we can go over it together because I want to make sure it's used properly. So even if, I don't know what he came in on, if it was like a harness or a regular collar or whatever, but they're gonna give him to you, bring him out on a slip lead, whatever you switch him over to. We want the leash to be held if we're walking. Out, good boy. Very good. Short but loose. So when I'm walking him, I'm gonna give him a command, let's go. Hey, let's go. And I want to make sure that my hand is relaxed down by my side, leaving him alone if he's where he's supposed to be, but short enough to where if he starts forging ahead, all I'm gonna do is say, nope, pop up a little bit with the leash. With the slip lead, you might have to, or anything other than the prong, you're probably gonna have to be a little bit more harsh, I don't know the word I wanna use, more of like an intensity with the leash. Out, don't eat my leash. Out, good. A little bit more intense with the correction, just because it's a pressure source that he's willing to kind of look past. But he knows what the word no means. We're just going to pair it with that physical pressure. So essentially, wherever we're applying pressure, that's when he's showing it an undesired behavior. Where we release that out is going to be when we have the desired behavior. So if we're walking, let's go. Come on. And I just gave him a little correction there because he keeps putting my leash in his mouth. If he starts forging ahead, nope, good. I want to give him that no, a gentle pressure, backing up with my arm. So again, the leash is short enough to where I can apply a little bit of pressure and not have to kind of yank my arm out. It's like, come on, bud. Place. Good. As far as reactivity goes, which is him like barking and things like that, he's at a very delicate stage of life right now. He's kind of leaving like that puppyhood and entering the teen years. So I want to make sure that we're careful with how we address his reactivity. I don't want to create any bad associations or anything like that, but I also want to harness proper behaviors. So how I address his barking is going to depend on where we are as far as threshold goes. So if it's something that I can catch it as soon as he notices something, I want to essentially switch value. I want him to see a trigger, another person, another dog, whatever it is that he's potentially going to bark at. I want to, as soon as he notices it, say yes, and then offer him that reinforcement. So that being said, it's going to be important that, especially right now, when you take him places, when you take him out on walks, make sure you have high value rewards with you. Doing that right now is going to set him up for being a much better behaved dog down the road. So you won't have to do it as much as he gets older. Right now we're kind of creating new associations. So essentially it's kind of backwards almost, where he's looking at a dog and we're paying him for looking at the dog. I want him to learn that when he sees triggers, the good stuff comes from us as the handler. So it's doing two things. It's making that a good association. Oh, every time I see these things, it's nothing to be scared of. I get something good. And the good stuff comes from us. So it's putting value on us and creating better engagement. Excuse me. If he is doing his little like those things, I don't really mind that. That's him just kind of dealing with something. Usually when he does that, I'm just going to remind him that we're in the heel. I'll say, let's go, come on. And I'll just be a little bit playful with him. So I'm going to kind of switch his attention. I'm going to use a little bit of a leash tap back towards me to remind him that we're doing something. But I don't want it to be a bad thing. I don't want to correct him for being rude or for expressing that he is unsure of something. I just kind of want to more so reassure, like, hey, we're good. None of that stuff matters. You're going to walk with me. If it is something where he starts barking and vocalizing, I'm just going to say, nope, a little bit of tap, 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 back with me, and we're going to give that object, that trigger, space. So essentially, I think a lot of his reactivity right now is just an uncertainty of what those things are. So I want to respect that he needs boundaries. So that's kind of where I was going before, where he's like, I see that thing, that's him saying, like, I don't really know about that. I'm going to move him away from it, play with him, give him some attention in a playful manner. I don't want to be like, it's all right, it's okay. I don't want to kind of coddle him in that sense. I want to more so make it seem like, hey, none of that stuff's a big deal. We're going to go this way a little bit. Just kind of angle out differently from the approaching trigger. But if he's going out of his way to try to create space with barking and moving towards it, that's when I'm going to say, nope, that's not allowed, you can't do that. So it's just a nice little balance. So if he's burr, 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 nope, we're going to go this way a little bit. I'm still going to give him space, but I'm also going to say that he can't outwardly protest their presence. I'm going to pause it because I know that my camera only has a certain amount of time before it just shuts off on its own, and we'll switch back up.